Hello, my dear friends. How are you all? I hope you all are good and fantastic. So, friends, today we will start a new topic of lecture arithmetic progression. Okay. So, my dear friends, you have to be listen very carefully because today we are going to be a lot of questions and lot of examples. Okay. So now, without wasting the time, let's start. Yes. So today we are going to be discuss nth term of an AP. What is nth term of an AP? Let's suppose we have an AP A1, A2, A3, A4, and our last term is AN. This is a finite AP. Now we have to find the value of AN. We have to find the value of AN. So how we can find it? So there is a direct formula to find the value of AN. What is? Yes, there is a direct formula to find the value of AN. So friends, what is the formula? The formula is AN is equals to A1 plus N minus 1 into D. Yes, I hope you understand this. A1 plus A1 plus N minus 1 into D. Okay. Now, in this case, what is AN? We can say AN is our last term. AN is what? AN is our last term and is our number of terms and is number of terms. Now the value of D, what is D? D is our common difference. And A1 is our first term. Okay, if we know A1, N and D, we can easily find the value of AN. Okay, I hope you get this point. So now, yes, now it's time for doing the question. Now in this lecture, we are doing a lot of questions. Okay, yeah, so the question number first is, in the following APs, find the missing term in the boxes. Okay, now we have to find this term. We have to find the missing term. Now, so we know A1 is 2, okay, and A3 is 26. Okay, first of all, you have to understand the concept of this question. For finding this middle term, this is what? This is our A2. Okay, for finding this A2, we have to find what? We have to find D. If we know D, we can easily find the value of A2 because what is A2? A2 is A1 plus D. We know A1, we don't know D. Okay, now if we know D, then we can easily find the value of A2. So our main aim is we have to find the value of D. So how we can find it? We can find it by, what is the formula of A3? We can write it as A1 plus 3 minus 1 into D. Because we know AN is equals to A1 plus N minus 1 into D. Okay, we are applying here this formula. Okay, because the last term, AN term is what? 6 and the number of terms is 3. Okay, yes. Now A3 is 26, A1 is 2 plus 3 minus 1 is 2D. Now what is? Yes, this 2 will shift here and it will become negative 26 minus 2, which is equals to twice of D. Now 2D is equals to 24. Now the value of D is what? 12. If we divide 24, this will goes to 12 times. Now we get, yes, we get D is equals to 20. Now We know D. Now we can easily find the value of A2. So the value of A2 is A1 plus D. So we can write here is 8 1 is 2 and D is 12. So the value of A2, which is equals to 14. What is the value of A2? Yeah, the value of A2 is 14. So I hope you get this point, how we can find the values of A2. Now let's move on. Yes, now we have to find A1 and A3. Okay, we know A what? We know A2, which is equals to 13, A4, which is equals to 3. Now we have to find the value of t. So how we can find? We have two equation, we have two values. So from these two values we can make the two equation like this. We can write it A2 as A1 plus 2 minus 1 into D, which is equals to what? 13. Okay, this will become A1 plus D is equals to 13. This is our equation number 1. We can write it. Now we can write A4 as A1 plus 4 minus 1 into D, which is equals to 3. We can write it as A1 plus 3D, which is equals to, yes, which is equals to 3. And this is our second equation. Okay, which is our second equation. Now if we subtract equation first from subtract subtract first from second, then we get what? We get A1 plus 3D, which is equals to 3, no doubt. And here is A1 plus D, which is equals to 13. Now we get, if we subtract it, we get what? Twice of T. And the value of D is what? Minus 5. So now with the help of value of D, we can find the value of A1. Okay, so now here is, we know that D is equals to what? D we have minus 5. D we have minus 5. Okay, now if we put the value of D in equation 1, you can put the value of D in any of the equation. Either you can put the value of D in equation 1 or you can put the value of D in equation second. You get the same result. You get the same the value of A1. Okay, so now if we put the value of D in equation 1, we get, here is we have A1 plus, here is minus 5, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 13. So from this, A1 is equals to 13 minus of minus 5. Okay, if we shift this term to the RHS, so we get minus, and 5 is already with the sign is minus, so we get 13 minus minus plus. Okay, and this is plus 5. So we get 13 plus 5 is 18. So the value of A1 is 18. The value of A1 is what? 18. I hope you get. Now we have to find A3. Now what is A3? So A3 is, we know that it is A2 plus D. This is what? A2 plus D. Now what is A2? So A2 is, here is, you can see that this is 13. This is what? This is 13. So here is 13 plus, we have the value of D is what? Minus 5. So we get 13 minus 5. 13 minus 5, this will be 8. So A3 is 8. So I hope you understand these things. So we have A1 and A3, which is the required answer. Okay, I hope you get this point. So now let's move on. Now in this question, we know the value of a1 is -4, and the value of what is a1, a2, a3, a4, a5, and a6, and we know a6 is 6. So in this case we can write it a6 is a1 plus 6 minus 1 into d. Okay, now what is a6? Exactly 6. And what is a1? -4 plus this is 5d. Okay, now we shift -4 and we get 6 plus 4, which is equals to 5d, and 5d is equals to 10, and we get the value of d is 2. What is the value of d is 2. Okay, I hope you get this point. Now we can find easily the all the values. Okay, a2 is a1 plus d means -4 plus 2, we get -2. A3 is a1 plus a2 plus d, and what is a2? -2 plus 2 means 0. And a4 is a3 plus d, and we have 0 plus 2, we get 2. And a5 is a4 plus d, and we have what? 2 plus 2 means 4, and this is our answer. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. Now let's move on. Yes, so the next question is, which term of the AP is 78? So we have AP 3, 8, 13, 18, and so on till 78. Okay, so we have to find the value of n. Okay, so here an is equals to 78. We know the value of an is equals to 70, no? And we know the value of 3, a1 3, and value of d is 8 minus 3, which is equals to 5. Okay, now we have to find what? N. We have to find the value of n. Now we have to put the formula an is equals to a1 plus n minus 1 into d, and we know the value of an is 78. We know the value of a1 is 3 plus what is n? We don't know the value of n, and what is the value of d, which is 5. Now 78 minus 3 is equals to n minus 1 into 5. Okay, now what is this? We get 75, which is equals to n minus 1 into 5. Now if we divide 75 divided by 5, we get n minus 1. We get what? We get 1 and 5, which is equals to n minus 1. Now here is the value of n is 15 plus 1, which is equals to 16, and the value of n is what? 16. I hope you understand this question, how we can find the value of n. Okay, hence the 16th term of the AP is 78. Okay, so now let's move on. Yes, find the number of terms in of the following AP. Now we have to find the number of terms again. So now we know a1 is 7, d is 13 minus 7, which is equals to 6. Okay, what is n? We have to find n, and an is equals to 205. Now we can easily find the value of an. An is equals to a1 plus n minus 1 into d, and we know 205, which is equals to 7 plus what is n? We don't know n. And what is d? D is 6. So this will become, my dear friends, 205 minus 7 is equals to n minus 1 into 6. Okay, so my dear friends, we get 198 is equals to n minus 1 into 6. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So now n minus 1 is equals to 198 divided by 6. Okay, so which is equals to 33. Okay, so number of terms is what? 33 plus 1, which is equals to 34. So we get n is what? 34. Okay, so my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. So this is our answer. Okay, so now let's move on. Check whether 1 minus 150 is a term of the AP 11, 8, 5, 2 and so on. We have to check that minus 150 is come in this AP now. So for this checking, we have to put the value of AN is equals to minus 150. Okay, and we know A1 is 11 and D is what? 8 minus 11, we get what? Minus 3. Okay, so I hope you get this point. Now we have to find the value of n. So how we can find it? We have to put the formula A1 plus n minus 1 into D, and we know minus 150, which is equals to A1 is 11 plus n minus 1 into D is what? D is our minus 3. Now in this case, minus 150, which is equals to and 11 is shifting here. Now it will become negative, and this is what? Minus 11. Here is n minus 1 into minus 3. Now if we solve it, we get minus 161, which is equals to n minus 1 into minus 3. Now n minus 1, which is equals to minus 161, 161 divided by minus 3, and minus minus cancel, and from this, now we have to shift 1, then we have 161 upon 3 plus 1, we get 164 upon 3. Now we know that n is not an integer but a fraction. Now in this case, n is fraction, which is not possible, therefore minus 150 is not a term of this AP, because n should be always in integer. Okay, so we can write here minus 150 is not a term of this AP. So my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. Okay, so now let's move on. Yes, find the 31st term of an AP whose 11th term is 38 and 16th term is 73. Okay, so given that what? A31, we have to find A11 is 38 and A16 is 73. We have to find A31. Now for finding this, A11 is equals to 38, we can write it as A1 plus 11 minus 1 into D, which is equals to 38, and A1 plus 10D is equals to 38, which is the equation number 1. Okay, now again in this case, A16 is equals to 73, which is equals to what? A1 plus 15D, means 16 minus 1 is 15. 15D is equals to 73. This is our second equation. Now subtract equation first from equation second. Okay, we can write it easily. So A1 plus 15D, which is equals to 73. A1 plus 10D, which is equals to 38. If we subtract it, we get what? This will be cancelled, and if you subtract, we get 5D, and if you subtract, we get what? We get 13 minus 8 is 5 and 6 minus 3 is 3. We get this 35. Now we have 5d which is equals to 35. We have what? We have 5d which is equals to 35. Now from this d is equals to 35 divided by 5, we get 7. So the value of d is what? 7. Now we have to find what? We have to find the value of a1. Okay, so now put the value of d in equation number 1. We get the value of a1. So now here is, yes, we have a1 plus 10d is equals to 38. Okay, so now a1 plus 10 into 7 is equals to 38. So this will become a1 is equals to 38 minus 70. Okay, 10 into 7 is what? 70. And if we shift 70 to the RHS, we get minus 70. So 38 minus 70 is, we have a1 is minus 32. Okay, so now we have the value of a1 and we have the value of d. Okay, and we have to find a31. We have to find what? A31. And we know that an is equals to a1 plus n minus 1 into d. Okay, so the value of n is here is 31. Okay, so we have to find a31. This is equals to a1 plus 31 minus 1 into d. Okay, yeah, so a31 is equals to a1 is minus 32 plus 31 minus 1 is 30 into d is what? 7. Okay, so this will become minus 32 plus 210. Okay, after solving this we get a31 is equals to 178. Okay, what is 178? So this is the required answer. This is what? This is the required answer. I hope you understand these things, my dear friend. So now let's move on. Yes, so the question number 6 is what? If the third and ninth term of an AP is 4 and minus 8 respectively, which of the following is 0? Which term of the AP is 0? Now in this case again we have a3 which is equals to 4 and a9 which is equals to minus 8. Okay, so from this number, from these values, we can easily find the value of a and d. How? Let's see. A1 plus twice of d is equals to 4. Our equation number first. Again, a1 plus 8d is equals to minus 8, which is equation second. Now again, subtract equation first from equation second. Okay, now we can do it directly. A1 plus 8d which is equals to minus 8. A1 plus twice of d which is equals to 4. Now we get, if we subtract it, we get 6d which is equals to minus 12. Now we have the value of d is what? Minus 12 divided by 6 which is equals to minus 2. So the value of d is minus 2. Okay, the value of d is what? Minus 2. Now, so we have to put the value of t in any of the equation. We get the value of a1. So we know a1 plus 2d which is equals to 4 and a1 plus 2 into minus 2 which is equals to 4. a1 minus 4 is equals to 4. We get a1 is equals to 4 plus 4 which is equals to 8. So a1 is 8. We know the value of a1 is what? A1, we have the value of a1 is 8. Okay, so now we want to know what? What term of the AP is 0? So we can put an is equals to 0. A1 plus n minus 1 into d, and we know A1 is 8 plus n minus 1 multiply d is minus 2. Okay, it will become minus 8 is equals to n minus 1 multiply minus 2. Now n minus 1 is equals to minus 8 divided by minus 2. Okay, which we will get 4. Now from this we have the value of n is 4 plus 1, 5. So the value of n is what? 5. Okay, this is our answer. Okay, so now let's move on. Yes. Which term of the AP 3, 15, 27 and 39 will be 132 more than its 54th term? Okay, so this is a very good question. So first of all, we have to write the given part. So given is what? Given AP is 3, 15, 27, 39 and so on. We know A1 is 3. We know D is what? 15 minus 3, which is 12. Okay, now we know that an is equals to a1 plus n minus 1 into d. Okay, so therefore we can write it as a54 according to question. A54 is equals to a1 plus 54 minus 1, 54 minus 1 into d is what? 12. So a1 plus a1 is what? 3. We have the value of a1 is 3. We can directly put it. A1 we have 3. 3 plus 53 into 12. Okay, if we solve it, we get 3 plus 6, 36, and we get the value of a54 is 639. Okay, so I hope you get this point. Now according to question, 132 more than its 54th term, and its 54th term is 639. Okay, now if we add 132, we get what? 771. So now in that case, our nth term means an is equals to 771. Okay, now we have to find the value of n in that case. Okay, now we can directly put the value of n. How?
Now here you can see that we know that an is what? An is a1 plus n minus 1 into d. Okay, and an is what? An is, here you can see, an is 771. Okay, this is 771 and this is equals to a1. We know that a1 is 3. Okay, a1 is 3 plus we have to find n, so n minus 1 into d is what? D is, we know that d is 12. D is, yeah, d is 12. Now we can solve very easily. So here is 771 minus 3 is equals to n minus 1. Okay, so n minus 1 into 12. So this will become 768. It is equals to n minus 1 into 12. And this 12 goes down to denominator. So we get 768 divided by 12. And it is equals to n minus 1. Got it? So if we cancel this, here we get 64. So n minus 1 is equals to 64. So we get n is equals to 64 plus 1. So this is equals to 65. So n is equals to what? 65. So we can say that, okay, so n is equals to 65. So here we can say that 65th term will be 132 more than its 54th term. Okay, so we can write what? We can write here 65th term will be 132 more than its what? Here is more than its 54th term. What is? Yeah, 54th term. Okay, I hope you get this point, my dear friends. Now let's move on.
Determine the AP. Determine the AP whose third term is 16. Okay, and seventh term exceeds the fifth term by 12. Okay, now let's do that. Very easy question. What is saying that we have a what? We have to determine the AP whose third term is, means A3 is 16. Okay, and A7 means seventh term exceeds fifth term by 12. Means we know A7 is equals to A5 plus 12 times. Okay, now we know that A1 plus 2D, which is equals to 16. Okay, this is our first equation. Okay, so for finding the AP, we have to know A1 and D. So we have to make the equations. Now in this case, we know A1 plus 6D, which is equals to what? This is equals to A1 plus 4D is equals to plus 12. Plus what? Plus 12. Now from this case, A1 will be cancelled. We have 6D is equals to 4D plus 12. And this 4D is shift here. 6D minus 4D, which is equals to 12. And we have twice of D is equals to 12. We get D is equals to 6. So we know the value of D is 6 and put the value of D in equation first. We get what? We know. So my dear friends, we have A1 plus 2D is equals to 16. Okay, and we have the value of D is what? 6. So now put the value of D in this equation. We get A1 plus 2 into 6 is equals to 16. After solving this, A1 is equals to 16 minus 12, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 4. So we have, my dear friends, A1 4. And we have D is 6. So with the help of A1 and D, we can easily find the AP. Okay, how we can find it? Let's see that, my dear friends. So A1 is 4 and we know that A2 is what? A1 plus D. Okay, which is equals to 4 plus 6. This is 10. Now A3 is what? A3 is A2 plus D, which is equals to 10 plus 6. This is 16. And A4 is equals to A3 plus D, which is equals to 16 plus 6. So this will give 22. So we have AP and so on, we can do it. So we have AP is equals to 4, 10, 16, 22 and so on. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So now let's move on. So now, my dear friends, the next question is find the 20th term from the last term of the AP, which is 3, 8, 13 and the last term is 253. So my dear friends, we have to find the 20th term from the last term. Okay, so now for this, first of all, we have to reverse this APM. Okay, like we have to reverse this AP like 253 and this will be 13, 8 and 3. Now in this case we have A1 is 253. Okay, and last term is what? 3. Last term we have 3. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So now we have to find, yes, 20th term. Okay, we have to find this. Okay, so now, my dear friends, A20 is equals to A1 plus
n minus 1 into d. So what is a1? a1 we have 253 plus what is n? And my dear friends, we have 20 minus 1 into. And what is the value of d? So this is very easy. So the value of d is what? If we subtract, here is subtract any two consecutive numbers, so we get 8 minus 13. This will give minus 5. So we have what? Minus 5. Okay, my dear friends. So my dear friends, a20 is equals to 253 plus 19 into minus 5. Okay, so this will give 253 minus 95. So now my dear friends, a20 is equals to 158. So this is our answer. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So now let's move on.
So question number 9 is a sum of rupees 1000 is invested at 8% simple interest per year. Okay, calculate the interest at the end of each year. Do these interest form an AP? If so, find the interest at the end of 30 years making use of this fact. Okay, so friend, this is very easy question. Okay, first of all we have to frame it. How to frame it? Okay, so yes, so we know that what we know that formula to calculate simple interest. Formula to calculate simple interest is means SI. SI is what? P into R into T divided by what? 100. Okay. Now, so we know that we have P is equals to 100. Oh, sorry, 1000. We have R is 8, and our time is changing. Time is changing like 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, time is 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, now, so we are putting the value of this in the equation first. So what is formula? 1000 into 8 into, first we have to put the for first year. Okay, so the interest at the end of the first year, so this is what? Yeah, this is for first year. Now this is 1 divided by 100. This will be cancelled. We get what? 880 rupees. We get what? 80 rupees. Now, so SI2 means for second year we get 100 into 1000 into 8 into 2 divided by 100. Again we get what? 80 into 2 means 160. We get what? 160 rupees. Now SI for third year we get 1000 into 8 into 3 divided by 100. Then we get what? Rupees 240 rupees. Okay, similarly we can obtain the interest at the end of fourth year, fifth year, and so on. Okay, similarly we can obtain. Okay, so the interest in rupees at the end of first, second, third years respectively are, so the interests are what? 80, 160, 160, 240, and so on. Okay, so it is an AP as a difference between the consecutive terms in the list is 80. If you subtract it, we get what? 80. From this also, the difference is 80. So we know in this case We have T is what? 80. And we know A is again 80. So this is our AP. So if this is AP, they find the interest at the end of 30 years. So we have to find what? We have to find A30. Means what? A30. And what is A30? A plus 30 minus 1 into D. And what is A? A is 80 plus 29 into D. We have D is again 80. So if we solve it, then we get 2400. We get what? 2400. A30. Okay. So the interest at the end of 30 years will be what? 2400. This is our answer. So friends, this is enough for today. And now we will meet in the next lecture. So thank you very much for listening me and take care. Bye bye.